Pissing our pants yet?
Alright, welcome back to another Walking Dead Season 7 vlog. These are a collection of vlogs I am making to count down the release to Season 7 of The Walking Dead. Oh, and it's getting close. It's getting closer every day. And I hope you guys are looking forward to it. Weren't as many comments on that previous video I uploaded about Heath and Tara. I got more of a reaction from the one that was before that, where I talked about the camera angles for the Lucille death. But I can understand if people obviously are hyping up that death more than anything else. So for this video, I actually wanted to read you guys something that was just released late yesterday. And this is a full season synopsis of the first half of Season 7 given to us by AMC. I'm actually going to show you guys. I usually record these videos with XSplit, but I don't usually show that screen. But for now, I'm going to show you just what I'm looking at here. So we have this synopsis here, and I'll read it. Up until this point, our characters have lived through conflicts, disease, hunger, scores of the undead, tragedy, betrayal, and unthinkable loss. Through this, they've become formidable, powerful, unstoppable. To start Season 7, that power is taken away. They had found safety and stability. They had created a home. They thought the world was theirs. They thought they knew the world. They were wrong. The first half of Season 7 sees our group fractured, broken, bereaved, and picking up the pieces while living under the thumb of oppression. Negan will have successfully brought the survivors under his control, brutally convincing them to live under his rules with a deadly and horrific example of what happens if they don't. Other characters are unaware of what's happened, but have become separated from the group either by incident or choice. They will learn that they can't escape this new turn of their world either. This half season is about these characters starting over. The overall theme of the season is beginning again. The world isn't what they thought it was. It's bigger and it's even more dangerous. Now, I remember the last part of that quote was something Glenn actually said in episode 15, East of Season 6. Where Glenn said that the world's not what we thought it was, it's much bigger. They are very, very right. I mean, they went this half season of Season 6, really, just from having their own little community of Alexandria and relying on themselves and the people that they met within the Alexandrian walls. Then they expanded to this trade agreement with the Hilltop that they'd kill the Saviors if they could have some of the Hilltop supplies. Then they come to understand that the Saviors are actually a lot more powerful than they thought, and the Saviors end up taking Alexandria under their control as well. Of course, the Hilltop is also linked to the Kingdom by trade route and network. This is revealed in the comics, and it's also been hinted at in the trailers. We've seen King Ezekiel and some footage of the Kingdom so far in previews. Interestingly enough, it's interesting that they have not kept Ezekiel hidden. I thought they were just going to leave that as like a reveal for the episode where he's first shown. I feel like though, but since they're keeping the Lucille victim quote unquote secret, I think maybe it would have made sense for them to toss the audience a bone, like, oh, here's Ezekiel. He's the leader of this community that we hinted at with the guys with the body armor and the horses who save Morgan and Carol at the end of Season 6. But cool stuff, though. Cool stuff that we got this synopsis. Told us stuff that we knew, but it kind of just, consolidated it. And I like that. I like how we have this these couple paragraphs really just of information for the season. Kind of gives us an outline. What I'm more interested in now, and I think I posed this question in a previous video, but I'll pose it here again. How far do you think the season is going to go with the storyline from the comics? So by the end of Season 7, what will be the event that tops off the finale, or even the mid-season finale? Is it going to be... Are we going to see the shift? Is there going to be a shift where Rick finally starts to fight back against Negan? Will we see him team up with the Kingdom and the Hilltop? Will we see that triple alliance that occurs, and then they all fight the Saviors, like that happens in the comics? The events of All Out War. How do we build to All Out War? I'm assuming Season 8 is going to be the events of All Out War. Season 7 is going to be the Something to Fear. I forget the issues that happen after. It's basically like the aftermath of the Something to Fear events, where Rick lives under the leader Negan's, oppressive thumb, as the synopsis would say. But then those events lead to a point where he feels he can fight back. And I believe, this is a spoiler, by the way, I don't know how they're going to do this in the show, but in the comics, it's Dwight turning. Dwight betrays Negan and offers Rick a truce and says that he can team up with him and tell him how to take down Negan. That's kind of the turning point, which gives Rick the incentive to build the army and fight Negan's, just take him down. Will this happen in the show? I don't know, because we have Daryl as well, who's another kind of Dwight. Dwight and Daryl are kind of like two sides of the same coin, really. Daryl wasn't in the comics, so you just had Dwight, really. Dwight is kind of the Daryl role in the comics as it is. So it'll kind of be interesting to see, who takes that role, how the tables turn, so that Rick can get to that point of where maybe he gets his confidence back, because right now he's broken. He's broken, man. He's brought to his knees. He's watching, one of his friends getting their head smashed in. So this is Rick's lowest point right now. So the rest of the season is going to be about getting Rick back to a point of stability. Bringing Rick back. If Season 6's ending was tearing Rick Grimes down, Season 7 will be placing him in that role further, and then maybe trying to get him to rise up as the leader that we know he is, and then try to fight back against this oppressive dictator, king person, this amazing villain. So these are the best issues of the comics. Andrew Lincoln really said it correctly when he was at Comic-Con previously in July. He said that we are leading up to the greatest showdown in this show since Terminus. And this is probably going to be, Season 7 and 8 will probably be the best seasons and episodes of a TV show we've probably ever seen. It would probably rival some of the best Game of Thrones episodes, I would say. It's really, really just chilling. It's chilling. I mean, it's the combination of this new villain. It's the combination of all of these different communities. It's so different because previously in The Walking Dead, it was literally, here's Rick Grimes, here's his group, and then there's some trouble that occurs and they have to deal with it. It was always really just following their group, but now we have a bunch of different groups. We have 4 main groups. We've got the Saviors at the Sanctuary. We got the Hilltop. We've got the Kingdom now with Ezekiel leading that. And then we got, obviously, Rick Grimes in Alexandria. So we got 4 different communities all interacting. And then, obviously, there's the possibility that the show might invent some more or throw in some other characters that we're not familiar with, because, obviously, the show likes to reinvent the comics and not just do the story storyboard by storyboard. They changed a lot of stuff with the governor. So far, they've kept everything with Negan the same. Like, all of his dialogue from the Season 6 finale was exactly how it was written during his first introduction in the comics. There were a couple lines that were new. Like, obviously, in the comics, Negan never runs into Abraham, because Abraham's dead in the comics by that point. So Negan has a line in the show where he, looks at his beard and says that he has to shave. He pretends he's going to kill Maggie, but he doesn't. There's a little bit of a scuffle with Glenn. There are a couple of lines that he doesn't say, so those were a couple of them. And again, I think the show needs its own dialogue, as much as they can draw off of the comics. And I'm actually, again, looking forward to some comic lines from Negan being translated. And I think that might be a good idea for another vlog, where I talk, my top 5 lines from the comic that I want translated, that I want to see. I think, because I don't know if you guys know much about him, but they're just ideas and quotes that he says, that Negan says, Rick says, that I think are going to be very, very interesting to see translated into the show. Obviously, we're going to have less F words because of fucking censorship, but Yeah, it's still going to be cool. They can still do a lot with what they've got. So yeah, not to go on a huge tangent here. I just wanted to give you guys that synopsis and talk more season 7 hype. I'm just excited at this point, and literally in a few days it'll be October. So the month is literally around the corner. I am kind of disappointed that usually the freaking season 7 premiere is like a week earlier. It's October 23rd. That's late. Like usually it's October, what was it? October 12th that it was season 6 and 5. It was that same week, and now they're doing it a week later. I don't know if there's like a football game or something that they're competing against. I have no idea, so I'm not sure. Maybe one of the presidential debates. I don't know. I haven't looked at when the debates are scheduled. I know they just had one the other day, but I don't know when the other debates are scheduled. I know one is in October. Maybe that was the case. They don't want to fucking have the biggest premiere of their show ever where a major character is killed. They don't want to have... They probably want to put that on a day that there's not much else going on, except maybe like a minor football game. So if there's a debate going on, they don't want to tear their audience in half between people wanting to look at political crap and people wanting to watch The Walking Dead. But considering the garbage candidates we have for this election anyway, I'm not sure that many people would even want to fucking watch it. They'd probably just watch The Walking Dead anyway. So, alright, so that's it. I am going to throw this up. So let me guys know, again, I always like to see your comments. Let me know what you have for suggestions for more videos, and I will, of course, see you for the next videos coming in the future. Peace.